Thank you, Attorney-General. Senator McDonald.
Thanks, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Defence, Senator Payne, and I ask the Minister to update the Senate on the comprehensive strategic partnership agreement reached between Australia and Singapore that was so widely and warmly mentioned by both His Excellency the Prime Minister of Singapore and by the Australian Prime Minister at this morning's historic address by the Singaporean Prime Minister.
The Minister for Defence, Senator Payne.
Thank you very much, Mr President, and I particularly thank Senator McDonald as a fast and firm representative of North Queensland in this chamber for his question, because this does pertain significantly in defence terms to North Queensland. It was in May this year that the Turnbull government announced that Australia and Singapore would jointly develop military training areas and facilities in Australia, enhancing Singapore's training opportunities. We agreed to grant Singapore enhanced access for unilateral land training from the current 6 weeks per year to 18 weeks, from the current number of 6,600 troops to 14,000 troops per annum, and effectively trebling their access. It was a great pleasure for me to visit North Queensland after those announcements to meet with community and business leaders in both the Rockhampton and Townsville areas to discuss the implementation of the CSP as it will progress over the coming years. Ultimately, Singapore will invest about $2.25 billion in Australian training areas to upgrade these facilities, approximately $1 billion to be invested at Shoalwater Bay training area and similarly at the Townsville Field training area and its environs. Today, as Senator McDonald said, we are very pleased to welcome Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong to Canberra, as well as a delegation of his senior ministers, the Ministers for Defence, the Minister for Trade, the Minister for Foreign Affairs. And we were indeed fortunate to hear the Prime Minister Lee's historic address to the Parliament this morning, the first of a Singaporean leader. Tomorrow, both Prime Ministers will witness the signing of the first tranche of the initiatives under the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. I look forward particularly to signing the Defence Initiative, a partnership that will deliver practical benefits on trade, on defence, on innovation, on education, on law enforcement and cultural exchange.
Thank you, Minister. Senator McDonald, supplementary question.
Thanks, Mr President, and I thank the Minister for that answer. I'm interested in the defence element of the partnership, and I wonder if the Minister could give the Senate some more details of the strategic and economic benefits of the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership as it relates to defence.
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr President, and I thank Senator McDonald for his supplementary question. Mr President, as we outlined in the 2016 Defence White Paper, the Turnbull government is very focused on increasing Australia's international defence engagement to further develop our international partnerships, including with our allies and partners. The CSP will particularly enhance our defence engagement through 5 areas: enhanced training area and enhanced training area access, and joint development of facilities, military and civilian exchange postings, new training initiatives and greater collaboration, greater intelligence sharing and expanding our science and technology cooperation. And we heard indeed how Prime Minister Lee is particularly interested in this area today. This will enable greater interoperability between our defence forces, as well as enhancing regional stability and security. It will also deliver significant economic opportunities for the Townsville and Rockhampton regions. As Singapore's training presence increases, the demand for support services and opportunities for local businesses will also expand.
The time for answering the question has expired. Senator McDonald, final supplementary question.
Thanks, Mr President. And again, I thank the Minister for that news, which is very exciting for Townsville and Rockhampton. But I ask the Minister, how else is the government strengthening its bilateral defence relationships with Singapore?
Minister.
Thank you very much. We have very strong bilateral relationships with Singapore already, and we're going to continue to progress that very long history. They are our most involved defence partner in Southeast Asia. It's reflected in multiple defence dialogues as well as bilateral exercises. They include Navy exercise Singaroo, Army exercises Matilda and Dragon Ball, Air Force exercise Chiringa and Joint exercise Trident. We also participate in some extremely important and constructive multilateral exercises, particularly exercise Pitch Black. And currently, under the five-power defence arrangements, Mr President, exercises such as Basama Lima, which is literally underway as we speak, as well as our personnel exchange programs, education and training, and cooperative efforts in science and technology, in capability and in intelligence. We will continue to strongly support current Singaporean unilateral training in Australia as we progress to the arrangements under the CSP. And in fact, Singapore's major annual unilateral training activity,
Thank you,
Exercise
Minister.
Wallaby,
The time
is
for
underway
answering the
at
question
Shoalwater Bay
has
as we speak.
expired.